We had a variety article. At the core, the theme is female persecution, and I found that to be a very, very serious topic.
You also work as a casting director on an Evanescence music video.
I love the dark and creepy. Sorry, what was the question?
Anton, you stole my question again.
Because it's just horrible, and if you want to put that type of content, go to Harvard or whatever. Did I steal another question, Laura? 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody, welcome to our podcast, Liora Creators. It is me, Anton, my favorite person, amazing manager, co-producer, she's best, Laura, and the most amazing, magnificent, most talented, the most everything, Mikyla Bordner. She is an actress, producer, director. She spent years cultivating her obsession for all things acting since she was a kid. Mikyla started in theater and gained diverse toolbox of skills in acting that pushed her into the film sphere. Boom. Once on set, she was enamored by everything that made up a film and decided to learn more as curiosity got the best of her. She obtained a bachelor's degree from Portland State University, shout out Portland, where she really ate up all the film theory and how to translate that on screen, which has become invaluable in her journey as a producer and a director. Mikyla has now produced over 20 projects with more on her way. Her upcoming project is Cottontail, a feminist horror film starring Breeda and Natasha, Halevi, recently announced by Variety and Dread Central, and it is about to hit movie festivals all over the US and the world. Mikyla is always creating. She has more projects on the horizon, but acting still remains the number one passion for her, as, quote, nothing gets closer to the heart of the story and message than acting, end quote. Let's go.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. You guys are incredible. And it's great to meet Laura, Anton. You've been a good friend of mine here, and I think we met about a year ago now, 2 years ago.
Probably more. I think
2
more,
years
yeah.
ago.
2 years ago.
In Love with the Alpha, I remember. Anyway, so thank you for having me.
Mikyla, I want to ask you about more things. When did you first realize you wanted to work in film?
To be honest, I don't even remember. I think it was probably just growing up watching movies. And I remember specifically watching The Sound of Music like over and over again. My dad at the time was dating this girl who really loved that movie, and she's like, you should watch it. And I remember having this thought. I was like 5 or 6, and I was like, I want to be in movies. And like, I didn't really know what that meant. But ever since that moment, I've just, taken an interest in films. And, growing up, I think our generation kind of grew up on TV and movies. So I think it was easy to kind of fall in that line. And once I realized that acting was a thing that you could do, and like, you could be a performer, I was like, I want to do that, because I just loved making people laugh and making people feel something. To me, that's just so exciting.
Maybe there is one person who helped you to decide.
Like inspired you, maybe, right?
Hang on, I'm gonna hold for this helicopter.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna
that's
get
LA.
loud. It's gonna get loud. So that's a good question. To be honest, not really. My sister had friends growing up who were in the theater department, but I didn't really like have a mentor growing up, which is like, if I'm honest, I wish I would have, because I think that I would be a lot further than I am now. But, I grew up in a very like get a job kind of working class culture. And so being an artist or being an actor, being a filmmaker was never, ever something that was you know, looked at or supported. It wasn't until high school that I had a drama teacher, Tom Armitage, who's wonderful. I still see him from time to time, who I guess really inspired me and made me always try my best. You were always like afraid to disappoint him. And he definitely gave me some positive inspiration and kind of pushed me to go forward. And yeah, so not a fairy tale story, but I always just had a weird passion for acting, and I'm not really sure, to be honest, where it came from, but it's just always been such a deep fire within me.
So you work as an actor, producer, director, and which role feels most like you?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the day. But acting is always my number one. I've found a lot of gratification and growth in being behind the camera. When I first pursued my degree in film, to learn more about crew side, I had this thought. I was like, well, I'm an actor. Like, I'm not going to, I don't care about crew. I'm just going to do it so I get a degree, please my parents, whatever. They're still unhappy that I got a film degree, but whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew from the very first class I took that it was like this world just opening up for me that I had always wanted to get to, but that I never really explored, just because where I grew up, it was all theater. So yeah, I think, sorry, what was the question? Being behind the camera has really expanded my view of the art form. And it's also taught me too that actors are such a piece of the puzzle, and that every person on set is absolutely integral to the outcome of the product. I do find a lot of gratification in producing, because I feel it's really exciting to conceive the project. And I feel, as my work as being a director, being hired to direct, I never quite felt like I had full control of what the project was going to be and the outcome. And, I'm very grateful for those opportunities, but I think producing really allows you to steer the ship in a way that you don't quite realize.
I mean, I was speaking from my firsthand experience, seeing you work as an actress, even like a casting director and AD. I don't think I've seen you as a director yet. I mean, we haven't worked together where you directed, but I feel like you're such a hyphenate, is that the word? Where you have an aptitude for different fields in cinema. Like, you can be a great actress, you can be a great producer, an AD, and all of the things that you know and you can do well, it actually makes you more valuable and stronger for the production of film. And I mean, I'm sure if you would to direct the film, you would be great also, because I remember like speaking to you, and I know that you have a taste. I know that you have the specific quality of work that you always try to reach for. And I really value that in you, because a lot of people kind of stop at the, normality. Okay, it's okay. But like you're like, okay, we want to make it as great as we can with whatever time. Let's put all our energy in that. And I think it's very valuable. I mean, that's just my little comment about you.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that.
Well, thank you guys. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I think
Laura's your biggest fan.
Yes,
I'm Laura's biggest fan.
This is Stan, your biggest fan.
Well, yes, thank you both for saying that. I everything I do, I truly don't do for praise whatsoever. To me, it's just so exciting to create. I actually get a bit nervous talking about myself and what I do, because I've always been I kind of shy away from the spotlight a little bit, because to me it just doesn't matter. But I think in the past I've struggled being a director in some ways because I was always so curious about making it happen. And I think that now I've reached a place in my career where I do want to step into the spotlight more as a director, because I think that now that I know how a set functions and how producing happens and like what it takes to be a good producer, I think I can kind of relax a little bit and sit in the direction that I'm choosing to. I also tend to be a bit nebulous with my creative thoughts too. So I think it's really helped me practice honing in on why we're choosing things and what is the best path forward.
You work between Portland and California, yes? And what is the biggest difference between the film communities? Filmmaking style?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, both communities are wonderful. I think both offer different things. One of the reasons I love filming in Portland so much is that people are just excited to create. In LA, they are too, but I think that there's a higher standard. There's more competition. There's more people. It's also a little more difficult to film here just based off of permits and stuff like that. Portland still has this sphere of like kind of getting away with things and doing things down and dirty if you need to. But both communities are great. I think I've found a lot of growth in LA that I really, really wanted, that I had kind of reached a glass ceiling in Portland a little bit. But I still do love going to create in Portland because I love the landscape. First of all, there's so many different areas to film in. I like the weather tends to be a little more respectful to the looks that I want, because I really like dark and moody stuff. For those of you who don't know, I love the dark and creepy. But also the people too are just they're just excited to be there. They're excited to create. And that's kind of the mentality I've always had, regardless of how much money a project has. You know, I find that, you know, it's more money, more problems, you know? So I'm always just down to clown, and but it has to be the right project too. So.
I'm gonna remember that. I'm down to clown.
Down to clown.
Yeah.
Anton, you worked with Mikyla in Portland. Did Portland feel did Portland feel different from California?
Yeah, a lot. I feel like the people weren't really different, but I mean, I spent there only 4 days. I felt people are very kind, very outgoing, very there for you. I mean, people are just amazing. But the weather is definitely different. It was just gloomy. It was rainy. It was darker. Oh, there was some sun though, a little bit. But I think like on the third day, I was like, okay, I think I want to go back to California right now. But it was a lot of fun. The people are just amazing. Yeah. But I kind of agree with what Mikyla said. There's like a certain thing that you hit, like a ceiling. It didn't really feel. It felt Portland as where people live and there are like local indie productions, right? Whereas LA is like a movie town. That's like the people here live and breathe films, and it's like everyone is just creating something. It's LA is definitely different to Portland, but Portland has its own beauty.
I worked with Mikyla as Anton's manager, and I truly enjoyed every part of this experience. I also still remember the wonderful surprise you prepared for Anton's birthday. I just want to thank you so much. Moments like that really bring team together, and I think that's something very special.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And Mikyla, can you tell us more about The Face? What is the film about? What did you decide to make it? And where is the project now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was first approached by, also always want to make you feel good on set, Anton, always. And thank you, Laura. It was wonderful working with you as well. Yeah, so for The Face, I was first approached by a DP in Portland named Kevin Forrest. We had worked together on a previous project called Goodbye Beard, and he did wonderful work on that. He threw my name to the director, who had a pretty sizable budget for the project. And to me, that was automatically very attractive, because that means that whoever is behind the project is very passionate about what they're doing. And then I met Hank Huffman, the director, who indeed was very passionate about what he was making in his vision. It's a story that he had thought of for a very, very long time. And to me, that's, you know, it also was a horror film, and I love horror. I love working in horror because it allows for very dramatic visuals, which I guess you could say is something I like. And it felt like a good challenge to me also. I really like producing challenging stuff. It really allows me to get my hands dirty and get creative. And so to me, it checked all the boxes, and I was like, great, well, let's get going. And I thought of Anton actually for this role, and I think we had just worked on set together too, so you were fresh in my mind. And I was like, oh, you have to audition for this. And I was like hoping that, you know, your audition would please Hank, and of course it did. And you were awesome in it. You're actually probably one of my favorite parts of that whole production. And I'm not just saying that, I promise, but you brought this amazing, I guess, seductive air to you, which is probably the right word. And I think it fit your character really well. So we shot that in November of 2025, and it's been in post. It is almost picture locked, I believe. We have an editor, I think, who lives in New York, who's working on it. And the plan is to get a post done on that and then take it to festivals after that. I know Hank wants to fund his feature film of the same storyline, which is sort of a serial killer origin story, as it were, or a monster origin story. So if you take killers like Michael and Freddy, it's similar to that. So the face is a mask he dons and creates chaos in the community.
Fingers crossed it goes well.
It will. It will.
I had lots of fun. Thank you for thinking of me and really like, hey, you want to do this? I'm glad it all really worked out. And obviously you made the whole experience just amazing.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you had a good time. It was very, very hard on me, and I put too much on my own shoulders, but lesson learned.
I just want to ask Anton about your experience working on The Face, your actor's experience.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. It was, Mikyla made everything so smooth. Everything was taken care of. I mean, as from my perspective, it was just lots of fun, great people, great actors. I had a lot of fun with them. I remember this guy, he couldn't show up. So another guy came in like last minute, and he just became a great addition to the team. I had lots of fun with him, a lot of banter. And it's definitely one for the books. And obviously you like creating the whole surprise and the donuts and singing happy birthday. In fact, I wanted, like last year, like 2024, I think, I made a wish. I want to spend one of my birthdays on a set. And like literally the next year,
It was day
2025,
one.
day
Yeah.
one. lots of fun. I like learned how to drive stick shift. Well, I knew how to drive stick shift, but your father really kind of like showed me the ropes and to remind me how to do it, and so fun. I mean, I remember leaving the shoot, and I was like, this will remain in my memory like to the day that I die. Seriously,
Oh,
it was so good.
I'm so glad. Oh,
Yeah.
You also worked as a casting director on an Evanescence music video. Do you have a favorite memory from that experience?
wow. Well, yeah, I also shout out to my friend Ashley Hines, who brought me onto the project with a company called Bless Code. They do a lot of amazing music videos and a lot in the rock genre specifically, but I think across all genres. And yeah, it was really cool. It kind of came as a surprise to me, but I had been working as a casting associate for the company on a previous music video, and I think it kind of just plopped in my lap. And one of my favorite things actually was kind of designing this really edgy hard rock look with all the actors, because I grew up on hard rock and like heavy metal, and I'm still very much integrated into that scene. Mostly because my brother and my mom. And so it was really exciting for me to kind of use my background in that and design the actors around that look, and also dial them into the story as well. So that was really cool. I think I loved being on set with Anton. I love being on set with Anton. It's always such a good time. But yeah, it was really, really fun and really cool. And I'm super fortunate to have had the opportunity.
I want to point out that what I observed from you is when you came in, that's what I need to learn from you, to be honest. You came in and like you went and you met the whole crew, you chatted with everybody, you try to help as much as you can, like organize everything. So you really like came in and became like a full part of the process of the whole shoot. You didn't just come in and be like, okay, well, I did my job and I'm just gonna chill here, you know? And yeah, I remember I was like, wow, like you were so proactive, and that's what I need to learn from you. Not that I'm not proactive, but like you were just in it, you know?
It really comes from my hatred of idle hands. I really don't like to just sit down and do nothing. So any way I can support my friend Ashley as well, I'm happy to be there. I think I was fire watch most of the night, actually, because they just needed an extra set of eyes. And I think I kind of go into like mama bear mode on set. I think maybe from my experience being a producer, where it's like, you know, don't touch that or whatever. And also like protect the people I'm hiring too, because essentially I was hiring you guys. And yeah, I just like to make sure people feel like they're taken care of and they're a part of the experience too, because I know sometimes as actors, especially in LA, it can just feel like people just don't care and you're just kind of like a transaction. And I never want people to feel like that on any of my sets.
Mm-hmm. You remind me of when I worked on a show, The Pit, and I was there for like a few days, and I remember observing the whole experience and how actors were treated really well and how the process was very smooth and everyone was just locked in. You know, there was a camaraderie, teamwork, support system on set. And I remember at the end of the shoot, I came up to John Wells. He is the producer of the show, and he's also like a director. I think he produces, he directs, his production company shoots it. And I came up to him and I was like, wow, I'm really impressed by how you run this set, because it always goes from top to bottom. And
totally.
And I told him that whenever I get the chance to direct or produce something, this is like the benchmark I wanna strive for. And you remind me of him, because every time I show up on set, you always take care of people, you're always in it, you're always locked in, and it's just like always all about the film. but you don't forget about the people and the crew, not only actors, but the crew also. And it's very important to have people like that who are passionate about making movies. And big shout out to you, basically.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. I mean, I just have the philosophy that everyone on set deserves to be treated equal, no matter your position on set, because you, like I said earlier, everyone is a piece of the puzzle. And if you don't have that puzzle piece, your puzzle piece isn't complete.
Mhm.
So,
Laura,
guys,
boom.
yes, let's change the topic a little. I think nobody in the film industry can ignore that's happening with vertical series right now. They're growing very fast and getting more and more attention. So let's talk about this. Why do you think people enjoy vertical series so much?
You know, I think it's the way that they're written, actually. I think as actors, we kind of like to say, oh, this is goofy, whatever, right? But I truly think the way that they are produced and then the way that they are exhibited, so being on our phones, is so smart. I mean, you're getting these lines over and over again of like, I'm going to hit you, B word, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to hit you. And then you never see it. The tension is rising, next episode. That's exactly what you want from an audience, no matter what platform it's on. Like, even in regular movies and TV, you want to build that tension and never release it and hold your audience hostage. And I think that's why audiences are so engaged.
Anton?
To piggyback what you said, it's also about tension, and it's holding the attention. And also, I think verticals, it's just a different type of content. They experiment, they're very bold. I see a bunch of ads on Instagram where verticals make AI microdramas, and they're all about sex, and it's like sex, and it's pretty much porn, to be honest. They just don't show it, but it's so implied, and I'm sure the target audience is younger people rather than adults, and I totally hate it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it. I'm against it, and I feel like I want to speak out about it because it's just horrible. And if you want to put that type of content, go to Pornhub or whatever, but not on Instagram. And I think verticals will have to get some moral code or some principles or some regulations about what they do.
Anton, you stole my question again.
I'm reading your mind. We've been working for so long. Like I read your questions. Yeah, we have that mental connection.
Yes, we can already see that AI is becoming the big part of this format. And Mikyla, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, that's a good question. To be honest, I don't spend, maybe it's not in my algorithm, but at least I think I don't see AI. Maybe I do and I don't know. But in general, I am for job creation of artists in the community. So anytime I see anything taking that away from anyone, it irks me a bit. I hope that we are moving into a territory where we're resisting a bit of the easiness of AI, because, sure, I think AI is perhaps a good tool for certain things, like taking notes on this meeting, right? We don't have a third person to do that. It's convenient for us. But I personally don't think it needs to creep its way into the film industry, because we have a million crew people who can do that job for us. And what's sad about it is I hope that it doesn't take the artistry away from our culture, because I think that there's so much to be experienced in the creation of that. I mean, I'm a big proponent of creation, and I just hope that we still have a taste for the value of what it means to create something from scratch. And I think that some of our culture will adapt to AI and understand it, but I think that the people who make it and the people who don't buy it will still cling to that creation aspect of it.
Thank you.
I'm a big supporter of directors who stick by like a rule. We're gonna make this real. We're not gonna go AI. We're not gonna make it even a green screen. Like think about movies like Stanley Kubrick used to make, where he would just not do like war sequences or like Gladiator, for example. There's no AI. There's no green screen, at least from what I know. There's just a bunch of people, extras, making it so real, and that's what makes the movie so unique. I even see movies as not just a picture, but like energy in a way. And like the more energy there is, the more real it is, the more appealing it's going to be, you know, rather than green screen and less actors and AI. So yeah.
Thank you.
Did I steal another question, Laura?
No. Because my next question about horrors. Mikyla, you have worked on several horror projects. What keeps bringing you back to this genre, and why do you think horror is so popular right now?
Yeah, I absolutely love horror. I love watching horror movies. I love the horror culture, the community. I love making horror films. To me, it's the genre that lets us expand our mind from reality the most. I think it's perhaps a bit of an escapist in me that loves to find an alternate reality. And I get that in acting, so maybe that's why it's kind of transferred over. But I love the possibilities that horror allows us to have, because you can make horror out of any setting, any scenario. It could be any sense of tension we feel in life. It could be the simplest matter. It could be a paranormal thing, right? But it allows us to explore a deeper tension and anxiety. And it's funny, my sister once asked me why I like that so much, but I think drawing the anxiety out of an audience helps them discover their true selves in a way, because there's no hiding from anxiety or fear. It's very visceral. And I think that allows the audience to then take the theme and run with it a little bit. And to me, that's really exciting. And I always try to put a very, very present theme in all the films I make, because that's what filmmaking is. Even though some filmmakers say, oh, we don't need that, but we definitely do. And I think horror is so big right now because it's sparking an upheaval of people who are tired of seeing tentpole films and the formula around them. And I think horror allows us, again, to kind of break the mold and go however we want with it. And you know, horror has always been big. I think right now it's finding a little spotlight with films like Obsession and Backrooms, because you know, Obsession it's quite relatable to anyone. Anyone has always had unrequited love, so that's so relatable, right? And I think drawing out those more dramatic feelings is what's evoking such popularity for our audiences. And that's really exciting. And, you know, horror films also allow indie filmmakers to thrive too, because you don't need a ton of money to make something effective. And what's effective is executing that emotional train that you're taking the audience on. So that's why I love horror.
Maybe there is a person, the character you remember from your childhood from horror, because my character, horror character from my childhood, this is Freddy Krueger. Yes, I remember this guy. It was a very special experience. Who is your horror guy?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger is super scary. I remember my grandpa had this Freddy Krueger poster on the back of his garage door. So every time I'd go in there, I'd have to look at him. And I was like 3 years old. I was so scared.
Such a
It was
menacing.
life-size too. It was so scary. As a child, I actually was terrified of horror movies, but my sister would always watch them with her friends. I specifically remember The Ring and The Grudge absolutely terrifying me as a kid. I have this memory of watching The Grudge at a sleepover, and I remember I was begging my sister, like, no, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it. And she's like, no, we're watching it. Everyone wants to watch it. And I remember like pulling a blanket over my face and like smothering myself with it because I couldn't even watch it. Just the sound of the like was so scary. But now I love them. I don't know why.
Anton, and you, horror guy or horror girl?
I was never like a horror guy. For a long time, that actually kind of like happened similar to you, Mikyla. Up to the age of like 15 or 16, like I could not take horror films. I was just terrified because I think when I was a kid, I seen Jaws on TV, and I remember I still remember that as vivid as I can. I still remember that dream where I'm dreaming and I can see those skulls in different like rainbow colors just like popping up. And I remember I was just like so scared as a kid. And another instance, my parents took me to see The Ghost Ship. I think that's what the movie was called.
Yeah, Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship. And I remember sitting like literally pretty much in the front row, seeing how the whole crew literally gets just cut into half, spoilers, and everyone dies. I remember stepping out of the cinema like 3 or 4 times because I just could not see it. And up to the age of 15 or 16, I was never watching horror films. And only at that age, when my friend was like, I was in England in the boarding house, and my friend was like, let's just watch it. And we started watching every single day a horror film. And it's just like, over the time, I was like, I kind of like that actually. To tell you the truth, I sleep so well once I see a horror film. It's like I watch a horror film and I sleep just like a baby.
You get all your emotions out.
Yeah. But as like the character guy, that's a good one. I don't think I have like a character guy, but I really like The Conjuring. I just like those movies.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk about Cottontail. Mikyla, please say what made you say, yes, I want to produce this film.
Well, yes, Cottontail, such a dear place in my heart. It makes me want to cry every time someone brings it up because the team and I have worked so hard on it, and it's almost finished. We just got the first master back, and we're sending it back for another mix, but it should be done soon. I was very attracted at the time to the idea of producing a feature. At the time, at the end of 2023, I had done, I think it was 2 or 3 really, really ambitious shorts, like should not have been made shorts because the budget was so small and what I was trying to do with them was so vast. And I, at the time, did not have a job, and Portland does not, I love Portland, but it does not have a market for freelance producers. It does not. And I'm trying to change that right now, but it does not. And I was really broke, did not have a job. And I remember sitting on my dad's couch, and I just remember being so anxious and thinking like, I think I just need to stop producing, at least for a while, because it was not getting me anywhere. I was working so hard, and like I'm super proud of creating those projects, but at the time I just felt like, what is this worth, you know? And I got an email from my bestie, Morgan Raymond, who's another amazing producer in Portland. And she has the production company Who Cares Productions. She's amazing. She emailed me and was like, hey, I got this script sent to me. And I, you know, we had never worked together at the time, but she's like, I know you're really integrated into the horror worlds, and I'd love to talk with you about this and, you know, invite you to one of the meetings with the director, Sandra Gusenow. And I was like, okay, great. And I read the script, and at the time, admittedly, it did need some work. I think Sandra would agree with me. It was very campy, actually, but at the core, the theme is female persecution. And I found that to be a very, very serious topic. And so, and, you know, one I'm quite passionate about. So I think that really, to me, it's all about the theme. If you can get me with the theme, you've sold me on the whole project, because the theme is what we're fighting for as filmmakers. So from there, it was all downhill. And now we've really transformed it into something that I'm so proud of it. I was just watching The Master the other day, and I could not stop crying because I was just so proud of what we had done. And yeah, I can't wait to show everyone. So I guess
excited to see it.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm excited to see it because I remember I've seen the like a rough cut.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see like the final thing. Like, if you have a premiere or something, please invite me. I want to come and see
I
it.
will. Absolutely. Yeah. I was just looking at all the details. Yeah. I can't wait to show it to everyone.
It was first article in Variety about your project.
Yes. We had a Variety article. Natasha Halevi graciously reached out to a connection and got the article. And that was really a phenomenal experience because, you know, like I said earlier, I'm not one for like shouting above the rooftops for my work. To me, it's all about the creation. But to me, it felt like a very well-rounded moment that we had all earned. And I think it's something that the whole crew can feel, and cast as well, you know. Even though not as many names are mentioned in there as could be, you know, articles are short and effective. So, but I think that the whole crew is extremely proud of the work that they've done. So thank you, Tasha.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. Can't wait.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's cool. It's cool. So, can you tell us a little about your plans? What can audience look forward to?
Well, that's a good question. Audiences can look forward to Cottontail here in the next year. It's going to do its festival round here soon, but after that, I have a short Retriver directed by Anthony Gavis coming out later this year. And then hopefully a project that's been in the works for a long time, Rat Problem, directed by Ashton T. Livingston in Portland. That's a super fun creature feature. Hopefully that's coming out this year. And then some other projects in post. I'm also doing a feature with Natasha Halevi, who we've talked about. I got connected to her through Cottontail, and we've kind of hit it off. I really believe in her as a creative and a director. She's really, really smart. And yeah, hopefully a lot more acting. I've done a lot of crew work this year, which has been good. I'm very grateful, but definitely have put acting on the back burner, but it's on the front burner now. So watch out.
What advice would you give to filmmakers who are just starting?
I would say my advice is always, I think, 3 things. Always go for plan A, because you can always fall back on plan B. So don't cut yourself short. Stick with your vision and figure out how to execute it. If you can't get all those things you want, that's fine. Go to plan B. What's plan B? But at least you tried to get your vision, right? 2 is don't let money stop you. Just go out and do it. You know, take your phone. You have a phone. That's such a gift for starting filmmakers. I mean, really, I think when I was starting, the camera quality was far worse off, right? So just go do it. Don't let a budget stop you. If you have enough money to feed your crew, that's enough money, right? To just create something. You can always find like-minded people who are willing to get their hands dirty as well and just create something awesome. And C is be collaborative and understand the worth of your cast and crew. Because even if you don't have money, it's still important to approach the situation of them devoting their time and their vision to the project as well. Don't close them out, because when everyone is working for pennies, it's a collaboration. And I think that that's something that enough directors don't lend a hand to.
Thank you. So it was last question. And Mikyla, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure talking with you. We wish you the very best wish, Cottontail, and all your future projects. We hope to see you again on the Leora Creators podcast. And Anton, thank you for
And the big screen.
Yes.
And the big screen.
And thank you for save my English again and again, as always.
We wouldn't be here without you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for our audience for this time with us. We hope to see you again in the next episode of the Leora.
Thank you.
Wait. Laura, say that again. Say that again. It froze.
Bye bye and ciao, cacao. Yes.